The Dodge County Sheriff found employees failed to provide basic care to inmates inside a Waupun prison. 4 inmates have died since last June, and now others are saying more needs to be done. Sam Kramer has balanced news coverage this morning.
Outside the walls of Wisconsin's oldest prison, Megan Hoffman-Kolb has something to say.
It's been 426 days since my dad arrived here.
Because this is personal.
It's been 346 days since my dad died here.
Dean Hoffman was the first of 4 inmates to die inside Waupun Correctional Institution since June 2023. Sunday, family members, friends, and former inmates gathered to remember them.
We cannot and will not sit idly by while lives are being destroyed and families torn apart. It is time for action.
The protest comes just 4 days after the prison's former warden and 8 other staff members were criminally charged following an investigation by the Dodge County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Dale Schmidt concluded those staff failed to provide basic care for 2 of the inmates who died, which sparked a second, smaller protest Sunday.
And they're being used as scapegoats for a much larger problem.
Cara Nelson spoke on behalf of a group of prison employees, including her husband, that stood in solidarity with the 8 employees who were charged. She says accountability starts at the top.
They knew about these issues, they chose not to do anything. And if they were doing something behind the scenes, it definitely wasn't being shown to other people.
The Department of Corrections says at least 8 other employees are still on administrative leave.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight at 9. Green Bay officials have suggested closing both the Green Bay Correctional Institution and the Waupun Correctional Institution should happen after an investigation into the latter.
But Waupun's mayor has other ideas. The former warden at Waupun Correctional, along with 8 other employees, were arrested on Wednesday. All are charged in connection with the deaths of 2 inmates. In response to the charges, Governor Tony Evers said, quote, "We have an obligation to make sure that people in our care, officers and staff, and our communities are safe." However, these charges and ongoing issues at Green Bay's prison is putting Wisconsin's prison system back under the microscope. Fox 11's Brady Meyer brings us balanced news coverage.
Waupun Mayor Rohn Bishop still standing by the city's prison.
We like the prison. We would like it to stay here. We would like it to stay open.
Bishop's support comes even after the arrest of 9 employees, including former warden Randall Hepp earlier this week.
I think a lot of correctional officers feel like no one has their back, and I at least want them to know that the mayor of Waupun appreciates what they do.
Mayor Bishop says the prison is deeply rooted in both the history and economy of Waupun, but the facility's age, staffing shortages, and investigations into inmate deaths have some questioning both the future of GBCI and WCI.
The governor has indicated to the legislature, who I have spoken with, he's not in favor of building another prison. I would ask, why not? 1 new prison could replace 2 prisons.
And I said, well, you know I'm going to push back on that. And he smiled. He said, I expect nothing less from you. So he knows that as the mayor, I'm going to go to bat for Waupun Correctional in our city.
Bishop says he understands the need for updates, but doesn't want to lose the jobs or the history. However, others suggest that's not the best course of action.
I've been saying for 8 years that it's time to close these crumbling facilities.
Save lives. We're losing lives. These places are not meant to do what they need to do today.
Among them are State Representative David Steffen and Alloway Village President Jim Rafter, who for years have advocated for the closure of Green Bay Correctional. In light of this week's shocking arrest, Waupun Correctional as well.
Do your own thing in Green Bay. Leave my prison out of it, because we're not in the same situation you're in. And I say that respectfully. Like, I'm not trying to pick a fight with them. I would just like them to leave Waupun alone.
Bishop says the difference is the type of relationship the city has with the facility.
They want theirs closed. We don't want ours. And so what's ticking me off is we keep getting sucked into the same argument. They argue that Green Bay should be closed because it's too old, it's outdated, and it's dangerous. And then they're always like, well, Waupun's older. Well, leave us alone.
In Waupun, Brady Meyer, Fox 11 News.
A vigil will be held outside Waupun Correctional on Sunday at 4:30. It will recognize those who died while incarcerated there. You can find Wednesday's full press conference with the Dodge County Sheriff within this story on fox11online.com.